What up, boys? This is Golf Wars. I'm here with the GOAT, Snyder 210, and noted Indiana Pacer fan, Bryce Morrow. How we doing, guys?
Doing well. I was doing better until Luzardo got blown up here in baseball, but on to a fun week of golf at the 3M Open. Our favorite event, Mr. JBC in the top right of your screen here, has a prestigious ticket to it. When are you heading out there?
I'm going out tomorrow at like 11 a.m. For the Fantasy Golf World Championship final on our partner site DraftKings, where we will have a great time and hopefully win some money. But in reality, like 80% of the field will be dead on Thursday morning.
Yeah, hopefully your team is still live when you land. I remember
Ross is there right now because he said he didn't want to not be there when his team was still live.
I remember one time Empire had a ticket to the Memphis. It was in Memphis that year.
Yeah, the FedEx.
And it's like, what, a 4-hour flight from the West Coast or whatever, 3 hours. Takes off, team's stone dead, doesn't even leave the airport, just flies back. He was so tilted. He's like, I was like, how's it going? He's like, fuck this, I'm leaving. He didn't even leave the airport. So hopefully it goes better than that.
I remember that happened with we were in Phoenix and we landed and Sully had Adam Hadwin and he was +6 in the first 3 holes.
Yeah, and this is like
but he was just like, fuck this.
This is like a tournament where you really need 6 out of 6 too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if like only one person gets it out of 50, like say it's like super hard, like they pretty much auto win unless the team just absolutely bombs the weekend.
Wiley, the throat goat, Nancy Reagan, we've been talking. We've been talking for a hot minute about the throat goat, Nancy Reagan, after all that's happened today. Now that we know aliens are real.
I've said it for years.
No, you're right. It's just like Snyder saying the moon landing was fake. You know,
every conspiracy theory.
Every conspiracy is going to come out now. He's gonna try and defend himself any way possible. All the conspiracies are coming out. I'm ready for the next couple weeks. I'm like really ready.
Well, here's the thing: if your golf team's dead, you can just fucking doom, or I can't say that on a public show. You can just doom scroll Twitter, for all day and just be endlessly entertained.
It's gonna be a fun weekend no matter what, especially because we found out there's a spearmint rhino right next to the hotel. So that could be the venue.
What you need to finish to go there? Let's set note. You need what, top 5 to feel good about going there afterwards?
I don't know.
I think maybe top 3.
I blew 20 grand the weekend in Nashville at the strip club.
Yeah, but you also won it on Max, so it's like a wash.
Yeah. No, this was on Derek Lewis.
Oh, that was Derek Lewis. You had him though.
It's our friends from.
I mean, no. I mean, I still won, but yeah.
Will our friends from California, the corporate Amex guys, be there?
Oh, the Indians? Oh, dude, I don't know. I don't know. Our friends, the Punjabi lawyers, I don't know if they'll be there. That guy was insistent that he was going to qualify for football again, though. So, hopefully.
Well, good. I hope he does. Those guys were fun.
Oh, they were great. They're my favorite people.
Just get in. I don't know who these people are, but they're going to be fun.
And it was. I was right. Okay, so we'll get to the tournament here. The field sucks, and I think there is very little difference between the very top end and when you get down to about 7,000, it drops off a cliff. But other than that, it's like very condensed. Like there's 50 golfers that are all about the same to me. And so it's very hard to like really differentiate. I mean, I know some guys are more fitted for the course than normal. We'll start with the top 3 because I think they're more closely correlated. Bryce, Sam Burns, Maverick McNeely, and God are up. How do you feel about each one relative to price, and how are you treating it?
I kind of think McNeely comes in as the chalkiest of the three. So that just kind of like I rate them all pretty evenly. In a vacuum, I'd probably choose Sam Burns, but that's super close. I would rank them including ownership: Burns, Goddard, and then Mav for me. And that's simply because of ownership. Like, I'm still going to have 20% Mav. Like, these guys aren't hard to get to. It's not like a $12,000 Scotty Scheffler. And it's because, if these guys miss the cut, you wouldn't be surprised. Like, it's, as you said, it's a very, very condensed field in terms of talent. I'm kind of willing to bet on the guys that, like, I know Mav has an outside shot at the Ryder Cup, but Sam Burns wants to play well here. Like, the guys with the Ryder Cup ambitions, I think, have extra motivation. Yeah. Wyndham especially have extra motivation this week. So, if there's kind of a narrative to follow here, I think it would be that. I just think Wyndham comes in the chalkiest, so I'm probably going to be
Maverick.
Yeah, Maverick, not Wyndham. Sorry, comes in the chalkiest. So I kind of expect to be slightly on him. I'm seeing him at 30%. He'll probably be low to mid 20s for me. Sam Burns probably high 20s, and then Goddard probably mid to low 20s, which is where I expect him to come in at.
Snyder.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think Mav's going to be the highest owned guy there. I am kind of seeing maybe a potential slight weather advantage maybe for the PMAM guys. The weather looks like it completely just drops off to absolutely 0 wind, 5 mile an hour of wind at 2 p.m. And in the morning, it's looking like 10 to 20 miles an hour wind in the morning. So it could be a potential slight edge. Maybe that's what's kind of kicking up some of these PM guys into the odds, like Knapp and Goddard up. I kind of like Goddard up out of these. The more I kind of dive into it, I think he's going to be the lowest owned of the three. I think it's going to come Mav, Burns, and then Goddard up. Goddard's just been on a straight tear. He's coming over from overseas. We had the win at the Scottish, the third at the Open. He's just been crushing it off the tee. And the putter has been there too. He's gained with the putter in 4 straight events now. He's been 10 of his last 11 have been inside the top 30, and 6 of those have been inside the top 20 with the upside we saw. So I'm kind of leaning more towards going right back to the Soldier for the last 2 weeks and Goddard up. And he goes off in the afternoon too, so I think that could be a slight bump to him. Burns goes off in the afternoon as well. But I think I'm going to be even with the field on Burns, slightly under on Mav, and then I'm going to be over on Goddard up. Mav as chalk really doesn't scare me too much. I mean, he's definitely probably going to make the cut. He was T3 here last year, but he's got a lot of range of outcomes, I think, where he finishes T25, like he has a lot of times, or T22 or something like that. So I think Burns has more upside. I think Goddard has more upside to win the event than Mav. But I think it'll be interesting to see. I think Mav will probably come somewhere around 23 to 28%. And I think Goddard up will be 17 to 22. And then Burns will probably be low 20s, I think is where I think I see it coming out.
Yeah, I mean, as far as me playing in the final, I fully assume that everybody's going to be playing McNeely. I expect him to be 40 to 50% in that field. He's the real chalk choice. I don't have as much interest in him, not nearly as much interest in him as I had him as last week, where I, had him in my core. But I just don't at 10,300. I'm not. I just don't like it that much. I think Burns and Goddard up are significantly better plays. Goddard up does seem like he's kind of had a little bit of an adrenaline dump the last few weeks, and he's just flying all over the place and doing all this and that and interviews and everything else, and he's been going nonstop. So I do worry about that a little bit from an energy standpoint. But I as far as an MME, I do think Goddard up is a better play than McNeely. But for me, Burns is the top. So 10,000, even 10,500, you don't really need the salary in this area and the way that this is priced, because there's so many guys down a little lower who are really just completely mispriced, like 1,500 too cheap type shit. So, you don't need the salary. So you could even play 2 of these 3. And I don't advise against that at all. So, but yeah, I would rank it Burns and then Goddard and then McNeely accounting for ownership. But I think everybody's going to go with McNeely. We'll go to the 9Ks next. We'll take it down to Knapp because I think that counts. Wyndham down to Knapp, Snyder. Who's your favorite in this range, and who do you hate?
My favorite in this range is probably going to be Jake Knapp. I think he's underpriced here. He's actually, I kind of keep diving a little bit more into it. He's actually played pretty well on some of these tracks with a lot of water in play. He can kind of hit that low cut shot like he does off the tee. Sometimes he plays that mini driver. Has played well at some Florida course. He played well at the Players Championship. He played well at the Honda or the Cognizant or whatever they're calling that these days. He played well down there. A ton of water down there as well. The driver spraying does cause concern for him there, but he's getting a lot of love in the betting markets. He's in the top 5, I think, on Pinnacle for odds. So he's just right up there. I think he's 5th or 6th on Pinnacle on the odds. So he's right up there. The putter's been coming around for him too. He's gaining in his last 4 with the putter as well. So if Knapp can keep the ball in play and
at the Scottish, he gained like 10 strokes putting.
Yeah, he's gained in his last 4, I think, with the putter. So maybe he's kind of seeing some stuff go in with that. If he can keep it clean off the tee, he'll definitely be in contention on Sunday, I think. This is one of those spots where I think he's got the upside to definitely win this. I think he should be priced. I think him and like Fowler should be switched prices or something like that, maybe even just a little higher. But I think he's definitely underpriced. So I'll be heavy on Jake Knapp. He's in my core, so I'll be heavy on him. Finau's got the best history here. He won this a few years ago and has been relatively in the top 15 about every year. But the recent form with him is pretty terrible. I mean, he's just as bad off the tee as Knapp accuracy-wise. So I worry about there. I'm probably not going to play much Finau. He'll definitely get, I think, upwards of maybe 20% even. So I think I'm going to just kind of cut him off there. I think he'll definitely be in that 15 to 20% range I'm seeing around the industry. I think Siwoo is better than Tony Finau, and he's 100 more. So I'm going to go Siwoo over Tony Finau. Siwoo should see some ownership himself, but he's got that boom bust upside that you love to play Siwoo, and just basically as a tournament play, because there's a good chance of him missing the cut, and there's a good chance of him finishing inside the top 10. So it's like the perfect tournament play to always play. So higher on Siwoo. I like Max Grazerman. Coming off a couple missed cuts overseas, I just don't think those link style courses fit his game really well, and it showed in his game play over there. But he can bomb it off the tee. He's a good ball striker. Had good.
He played well in round 2 at the British.
What's that?
He played well in round 2 at the British.
Yeah, I thought so. But he was T2 at the Rocket. He had some good finishes going over there. He was top 25 in the U.S. Open, top 25 in the Memorial. So he's played well on some tough tracks, and he was a runner-up here last year. So I'm high on Gracerman. Pendrith is kind of the chalk easy play. I mean, he's probably good for a top 25 here. He's been relatively inside that top 25, 5 of his last 6 events. Did miss the cut overseas at the British, but coming back overseas here, Pendrith's definitely going to be one of the more chalkier plays. He's going to be upwards of 20%, I think. So he's like the cash play, definitely. If you want a cash play, there he is. Wyndham and Fowler, I don't think I'm going to get much to Wyndham. I did see something about Wyndham has played much better in lower winds because he's got so much side spin off of his driver that when it gets windy is where he's really ran into trouble. So it doesn't look like it's going to be too windy relative for the most part. He's got a late tee time too when the winds will be down. So I think Wyndham is definitely a tournament play there. Off Fowler, though, I think that price is just too rich for him. I know he's got some good form coming in, but I think that price is just a little too rich for me.
Right.
Kind of want to play ownership here. Yet again, it's going to be kind of a theme on the show. My favorite play here would be Jake Knapp and Grazerman. I like them a lot. Want to be lower 20s on those guys. Wyndham, I think, is a pretty solid play. Ricky would be, if you're going to click off any guy in this range, I think it would be Ricky here. I just don't love his game compared to the rest of these guys. Penders seems safe, but, as Snyder said, he's going to be –
He's also a bitch.
Pretty chalky. Yeah, he is. He needed to make that cut last weekend, and I would not have disliked him so much. I think a sneaky play here. I don't hate Tony Finau. If he's starting to turn his game around a little bit, that's more of like a deep field play, obviously. Like, I wouldn't play him in like a single entry type of deal, but my guys in this range are really Knapp and Grazerman. And Wyndham to an extent.
Yeah, I agree. Jake Knapp is the top play in this range. I've been on him forever. I played him in the first 2 rounds of the Golf World Championship, and I'm looking at playing him here. Might not get there because of price constraints, but he's definitely in the mix. Second favorite play in this range, Wyndham Clark, 9,800. He won me a lot of money on Sunday, $140,000. Thank you, Wyndham Clark. And I think the course fits him, and I think the lack of wind fits him, as Snyder alluded to. But he is very expensive, so it's tough to rationalize him at 9,800. But I am going to play a good amount. Probably not in anything like he's in one of my 3K teams, but he's not in my fantasy or my World Championship team. So Wyndham, he's up there, but he's not elite. Fowler obviously has great upside, but he's overpriced. Pendrith is getting a ton of love around the market, and I think is the worst play in this range. I really have zero interest in Taylor Pendrith. I don't know why everybody likes him so much, so I'm not really playing him. My Siwoo Kim, I really like, and Grazerman, 92 and 93. I think they're both elite plays. I have them both in some of my 3K teams. So those 2 great plays. I bet Siwoo to win the tournament. Finau and Sung Jae. The problem is these are really talented guys who have been playing like shit. So at any point in time, they could start, turning it around a little bit, kind of like how Sam Burns did after the Masters. People like to forget Sam Burns was 230-1 at the Masters. And then he played really well, and everything changed back. So, Finau and Sung Jae, it could turn around at any point. Finau played decently last week. Sung Jae was okay until he cratered later in the tournament. But definitely not prioritizing them. So if I had to rank it, I'd go Knapp and then Clark and then Kim. 1, 2, 3. We'll go in the AK range next. I'll cut it off at Champ because I think that he's close to these guys in terms of strength of play. Davis, Thompson down to Champ. 7,900. Bryce. Who do you like here? Who do you hate? How are you vibing?
I think there's a lot of really quality plays here. Started off with Davis Thompson. I don't really think people are going to be on him. I think he has the upside to do well here. Kurt Kitayama kind of falls into that same bucket as Davis Thompson for me. I like him a good amount. I don't rate these guys as any worse than these 9K guys. So I really like, including Knapp. I really like this AK range here. I think it's very strong, and I think you're getting a lot of made cut equity, which you really want here. Not many weeks would I be willing to fade the top, but if you wanted to play 8Ks this week, I think that's a viable build and something that people will do to try and maximize their cut equity. Keith Mitchell, I don't like quite as much. He's still in my pool. Michael Thorbjornsen, I really like. He falls into a Knapp type of play for me. I think he's extremely strong at 8,500. Griot has been playing wonderfully lately. It's pretty much the best golf that Griot's played in years, and you've seen him do well at tracks like this. Homa, I don't play. Adam Scott, I think is playable, but I don't really love him or anything. I'd rather get to some higher or what I perceive to be higher upside guys at a birdie fest. Clanton, as much as I love the dude from meeting him last year and just being a great guy, I don't really think he has it right now. So maybe a couple lineups for nostalgia, but that's about it for me. Kevin Yu, I don't mind. And then I think Akshay is going to be mega chalk here at 8K. Obviously a good play, but depending on I'm going to be high 20s on him. Like he's just way too cheap. If the field comes in probably around there. I think he's probably like price adjusted, one of the strongest, if not the strongest play on the board. And then Hal Tong, I don't really want anything to do with him after his great run. I kind of think that takes it out of a guy like that. I am glad he held it together for the most part at the British. That was a really nice showing. I'm sure Mark was glad about that as well. And then Cam Champ, I mean, I think that he comes in super, super low owned. I think he has upside. I want to be over on him.
Mitch?
Yeah, I'm right there with Bryce for a lot of those guys for the most part. My favorite play in this range is going to be my guy, Thor. He's definitely 1 or 2 for me as a top overall play, I think, on this slate. Top 5 for distance off the tee. He's hitting 67% of his fairways as well over the last 36 rounds. 73% greens regulation with solid form heading in. He's now got the 5th best odds on Pinnacle last I've seen. So just a huge mispricing, I think, here on Thor. I think he's got great upside to win this event. He's been really close, too. He was T4 at the Rocket, T21 at the John Deere, T14 at the ISCO. So he's been kind of knocking on the door. I think this is the one where he can kind of get there. He's hitting greens regulation, super high rate, like I had said. So I like him. He's good. Keeping it in play off the tee as well. So definitely high on Thor. Thompson, I like him. Good guy finding fairways off the tee. Has that upside for tournaments that we love. I just worry about the putter for Thompson. It's kind of been holding him back a little bit. Needs to get that going, as well as Kitayama. The putter's kind of been failing Kitayama a little bit as well. He's a streaky guy, though. I like to follow Kitayama when he's on one of these streaks. So when he gets hot, he's coming off back-to-back top 15s as well. T14 last week at the CUDA, and then he was T5 at the John Deere Classic with a T6 at this event last year as well. So I like Kitayama. He'll be in the pool for sure. Emiliano Grillo, great ball striker, hitting 70% plus fairways and greens last 36 rounds. Had an off week last week at the CUDA, but he was runner-up at the JDC. Has great event history here, 3 top 10s and a T24 in 4 of his last 5 trips. So I'll be pretty high on Grillo. Kevin Yu is a guy I just keep playing as of late. He kind of struggled a little bit overseas. He missed a cut at the British, but he did well at the Scottish. So it was kind of a mixed bag over there. Great ball striker with upside. So he'll be in the pool. And then Akshay. Akshay is the biggest talking point, I think. I mean, he's going to be one of the highest owned plays. Grades out as one of the best overall plays on the slate from a price standpoint. When you compare his odds, recent form, and all of that, he's right up there with Siwoo, ahead of Gracerman, Kitayama, and Pendrith for odds. I could see the merit to possibly fading him, though, just based off of the ability with him in the short game. He's lost with the putter in his last 5. He's lost around the green in 7 of his last 8 events. So that short game could hold him back. So I could see the merit to maybe getting off him and some stuff. But he just lines up so well for such a good play this week. But I could see the merit based off of the short game if you want to go there. But I think he's a strong play regardless. And then Cameron Champ is another guy I like to play when he's kind of in form. He's a very, very streaky guy. Has been inside the top 34 of his last 5 events. Has the course history here as well. He won this event back in 2021 and has been T16 or better in his other 2 stops here. So I love the upside with Cameron Champ as well at the bottom of this range we're talking about.
I obviously you spoke on the major talking point here, which is Akshay Bhatia at 8K when he should be 1,500 more. How do you treat that? How do you go after it? my mindset is that I'm just going to hammer it. And, if he misses the cut, it really won't hurt you that much. But, with how high owned he's going to be, like I foresee him in the Golf World Championship being upwards of 70% owned. Everybody's just going to lock it and play 5v5. So, I'm not really I'm not a guy that wants to fade that kind of thing. So I'm going to stick with Badia and play him here. My second favorite in this range after him, because he's just such an obvious choice. Like you spoke on, Thor Bjornsson. I think a lot of the models that are more based on statistics and not necessarily recent form and actual ability are down on him. And so we've been able to get Thor Bjornsson at a really cheap price for about a month now. I played him every single round of the Golf World Championship, and I've advanced every single round. Not going to stop now. So playing Thor Bjornsson this week. He's in my core. I love him. I bet him 35 to 1 to win the tournament. I think he's the second best play in this range. After him, it would be Kurt Kitayama at 8,700. As we spoke about earlier today, he's leading in ball striking over the last month. So, I'm definitely not going to fade that on this kind of course. After him, Davis Thompson is a great play. And then you and Champ, I think you will be mad chalk. And I think he's going to be more owned than is warranted, considering he's the same price as Badia. So I'm not as interested in you. Like, I assume I'll come in under, even playing him 15 to 20%, and I'm not going to play him in the World Championship. And then Champ at 7,900, a high-low guy. People don't like high-low guys, so I do like that as a tournament play, and frankly, as any kind of play. So I do like Champ at 7,900. Not playing Hao Tong Lee, even though he did that shit for me last week. We'll get into the next range.
Mr. Tong. We got some comments here.
Hao Tong Lee, the man.
My man sipping on a 40 ounce of tea. I wish it was beer. Parker in the chat. He built the nuts. BP. He built the nuts on the toilet.
Oh, I've done that.
Good for you. Good for you. I think Mark did the same thing for his finals team that he advanced to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably did the same for this team. Toilet teams are the best. When you only have one. When you only have one, and none of these fancy programs that we all use now. Is it worth even playing this, or should I play League? Brother, I've never played a single game of League of Legends. I just like bet.
No, I think he meant like for DFS.
Oh, the 4-game slates are nice now that they're back. Our own Kevin McLaughlin took down the main GPP last night for, I think, 7K. He finished first, second with the Mark 4-2-1 team one off.
Evan
was a pretty fun
Shout
slate.
out Big Kev.
Big Kev.
I mean, prize pools aren't as bad as you think. You don't have to you can just wake up and see if you won. Like, if you don't really want to pay attention to it, it's not a hard sport to learn. So I definitely advocate for it, but the small field stuff is pretty sharp.
All right, we're getting to the 7K range, down into the we're getting close to the soldiers. We'll go just full 7Ks after that. Rico Hoey down to, Patrick Rogers. Snyder. These are your boys. What's up?
Yeah, I'll start up top I'll go with Rico Hoey up top. Has been elite ball striker, almost near Scotty levels at times this year. As of late, just one of the worst putters on tour. I mean, it's almost like Ryan Gerard out there, who just won last week as one of the worst putters on tour. But if he can find any way to putt to a zero, I think he'll be there inside the top 10 even on Sunday. He was T8 last week at the CUDA, T34 at the ISCO, and then T11 at the John Deere Classic in his last 3. So I love the upside of Rico. He just needs to find a way to just putt to a zero, and I think he'll be right there. So I'll be overweight on Rico. Vince Whaley, he's a good cut maker. Doesn't have much upside at all, but he should make the cut here. Probably finish like 35th or something like that. But if you want to, he's just a guy I've just had in the pool over the last couple of months just because he makes the cut, but he just doesn't do much. The price tag's a little rich for him for the upside, but 77 is not bad. Pearson Coude, he's been crushing the Korn Ferry Tour. Can't translate it to the big tour yet. Another chance for him in a weaker type field event. I'll have some of him in the pool. Patrick Fishburne is another upside guy I like to play in these weaker type field events. Good mid-range guy, I think. Couple top 20s in his last 3 events and was T6 here last year. So I'll have Fishburne in the pool. Bridgman, great upside guy. He crushed for us early in the year. It's kind of fallen off as of late, but I think he's a guy that should be in the pool in this type of event just for his upside. Matty Schmidt owns a pair of top 20s in his last 2 stops here. Didn't play well at the British, but has flashed some upside a couple times. I think he's like a 150 guy. If you want to add him in, he's fine. And now we got the first soldier in Doug Gim. Holds some strong course history here. Has been T20, T31, and T19 in his last 3 starts. Good ball striker. Just needs to get that putter to fire for him. But I like Gim for a value. Mark Hubbard seen some a slight move in his way matchup wise. He's getting a little bit of money in the matchup markets. I like to play Hubbard in these weaker type field events. Good cut maker in these. Christian Buzenhausen, as some call him. Strong cut maker, hits fairways and greens. He'll be one of the more popular guys in this range. Mark and Bryce will probably talk on him a little more, but I think he's a good play. Another soldier here is Big Haas, Bo Hostler, 7.1K. Has went T4, T14, T11 in his last 3 starts. Made 7 straight cuts as well heading in. Kind of has a mixed bag of results at this event, but was T13 in the 2023 version of this event. Shout out to Haas the boss, the other big Haas. So hopefully he can come in runner-up to JBC this weekend.
He's
if that happens, they'll burn down Minneapolis. There won't be anything left north of the city. If Mark and Haas go 1-2 with a Spearmint Rhino next to him,
on fire.
That'd be aggressive. Yeah, I may have to fly in.
So I'm not going because I'm going to my good friend Alex Lord's bachelor party. I think I would take a jet just from I'm going to French Lick, Indiana, so like I could be on call Sunday afternoon if needed.
That'd be awesome. Another Hustler was a soldier as well, and another soldier is right here, Andrew Putnam. I think Putnam's one of the best plays in this range. One of the better plays on the board as a whole this week, I think. Comes off a T11 last week and has finished inside the top 10 in 2 other weaker field events, going T8 at the Rocket, T6 in Canada. Has finished T19 and T11 his last 2 trips here. Should have finished much better here last year. He didn't make a single birdie in his 3rd round. He lost over 4 strokes putting in that 3rd round, but still managed to finish inside the top 20. His short game has been on point as of late and has really good odds for his price tag. So I'm pretty high on Putnam this week. I like Austin Eckroat for like an upside GPP target play. The line's moving his way in some matchup markets as well. So I like Eckroat for some upside. Some other upside guys I always like to play. Matthew McCarty. I like his upside in these type of events. I think he's fine. And that's about it. I don't see too much. Hayden Springer will be a guy that might be a pool play for me. He hits it long off the tee. Has some good recent form heading in as well. Patrick Rogers has horrible recent form, so I don't have to feel guilty about putting him in the pool. I hate that guy. I never get him right, so I probably won't be playing him. That's about it, though. I'll probably be off of a lot of these other guys. Mainly pretty high on Putnam. Who else is here? Rico. And then probably Bez for sure. And Gim.
Nice.
Am I doing the whole 7Ks here?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing? All right.
Other than Camp and Lee.
I don't have anyone below 7K. I think it falls off an absolute cliff. So this is just kind of going to round out my pool here. Like there are some guys in this range that are really strong. I think Rico Hoey, I think, has a lot of upside. Smalley can get hot with his putter. Lee Hodges has not been doing it recently, but still barely makes my pool. Vince Whaley, double condom type of play. Don't love him, but he makes a couple of my teams. Jesper Svensson, I think, has a lot of upside here. I like him a good amount. Pearson Coody, one of those guys, you have to show it to me before I start playing you on the big boy tour. So I'm off him this week. Matt Wallace, don't love. Fishburne, I think, has some upside here. Snyder mentioned his track record. Sam Stevens, I think, is a very strong play. Our guy, Jacob Bridgman, who's been doing it for us all year, I think is a very strong play at 7.5 as well. Johnny Vegas, I have him in one lineup just because he was super nice to me when I met him last year.
He also won last year
at the hotel. Yeah, I met him like after the second round in the elevator with his family. We were just like going back up to the hotel.
He's a brick house, dude.
He's fucking huge. And it's not like he's like built. A big dude. But yeah, I'm playing him on one team. He's not playing great golf right now, but I'm playing him on one team because I liked him. Same with my Luke Clanton strategy. Noren, I think has a bit of upside here. I don't really think anyone's going to be on him. So I like that. Tom Kim, like 2 to 3% probably. Like he makes my pool. If he misses out on like the run that I do, I don't really care. Same with Taylor Moore. Stick to playing courses in the South. Then I'd maybe consider him.
Blue State.
Doug Gim.
Blue State.
Yep. Doug Gim. One of Snyder's soldiers. I like Gim a lot here at 7,300. I just think he's a solid player for the price here. Norgard, Muller, Schmid, Olsen. I don't love these Euros as much coming off their 2 weeks to shine over playing links golf. You get back to real PGA Tour golf in the 3M championship here. Bezadenhout, I like a lot. If he gets hot, I think he can do well on these types of setups. McCarty and Van Rooyen, I think are both pretty solid plays here. Like them a decent amount. Hubbard makes my pool. Ben Ann, I would prefer to Hubbard a bit, but I think both are decent plays. Cam Davis, I always like playing him at Birdie Fest just because, the deficiencies in his game don't really show up as much here. Bo Hostler, I think, is a solid play at 7,100. Hughes, Kirk are okay to me, kind of like 5 to 7% type of plays here. I had him. Perez, not really on my radar this week. Gary Woodland, not really on my radar as well. Eckroat, I'm always slightly over on Eckroat, and I do think he can do well in a birdie fest. Andrew Putnam is kind of my guy here at the base. I know we mentioned him, but he's way too cheap at 7K. And then just other guys I have small sprinkles of in the pool: Springer, Hoagie, Valmaki, and Cole kind of round out my pool here. I always get asked this question: how many golfers are in your pool this week? Normally it's around 60. Some people play it a little more aggressive. Some people like play it like, oh, I'll play this guy once or twice and get like up to 90 golfers. I think that's totally fine. I don't really think there's a right or a wrong answer unless you're playing like 150 lineups of like 25 people. Like just play single entry at that point.
Yeah. So I mostly agree with you guys. I think the clear best play in this range is Andrew Putnam at 7,000. You both mentioned him. He has the best odds in the range, even though he's the cheapest guy. It's kind of dumb. Like it's very simple at that point. So Andrew Putnam, I think if you're playing single entry, you pretty much have to do it. After him, Christian Bezuidenhout, 72. He's got the second best odds in this range. And he's very cheap and at the bottom of the range. So those two existing in this range really make the top of the board very easy to get to whoever you want. So play Christian Bezuidenhout, play Andrew Putnam, figure it out from there. As far as guys that are getting mixed in at the top, Rico Hoey, Snyder spoke on fucking elite, except with the putter. Jesper Svensson, 7,600. Definitely way up there for me. Jacob Bridgman, 7,500. He's made me a lot of money. Alexander Noren, 7,400. He's in one of my 3K teams. I think he's very useful. Tom Kim, 7,400. High upside. Doug Gim, 7,300. And Eric Van Rooyen at 7,200. I think they all have the ability to finish in the top 10, which is what you're looking for here. I'm not trying to play a condom play like Vince Whaley. We go to the bottom here, 6Ks. I'm really not playing a lot of these, and Bryce mentioned he wasn't playing any of them at all. Snyder, are you taking anyone in the 6Ks and who?
I'm really not like actively trying to play any of these guys, but if a few of them, I'll add a few of them to the pool though. If they slip in, that's fine. I think Rosner is a guy you could look to there. He's got some good upside. Tristan Lawrence, I think he's got the upside. He was TA at the Rocket and T12 at the U.S. Open, so we know Lawrence has some upside. Just hasn't really fared as well as of late since that, but he hits a lot of fairways and greens, so I think Lawrence is fine. McGreevy's got upside. He was top 5 at the Cooter last week. Chandler Phillips is another kind of upside guy. And then let's look down. Lipsky's actually been playing decent the last few. All three weaker top field events. T3 at the John Deere, T28 at the ISCO, and then T32 at the Barracuda. So he's probably fine. I got to mention the Nebraska boy down here, Nate Lashley. I think he's got some upside. He's played well in the last two weaker type field events. Was top 30 at the John Deere. We've seen
him last some of these birdie fests.
Yeah. He's won, not this one, but he won a similar type birdie fest.
One in Detroit, Quicken.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he doesn't hit the ball as far off the tee, but he hits fairways at a high clip. Hits greens at a fairly high clip. He can get hot, so I think Nate Lashley would be the lowest guy I would go to and kind of sprinkle him. It hasn't really played the best at this field at this course historically, but I think he's worth a sprinkle.
Bryce, you got nothing out here?
I got nothing for you. I didn't play anyone under 7K. I think you want to maximize cut-made equity. And, with Putnam being so strong at 7, just kind of roll the dice there and hope to maximize my 6 out of 6 here.
Down here, I'll just go from top to bottom. I think Antoine Rosner's playable for sure. He's been playing great recently. Tristan Lawrence, as Snyder mentioned, I actually had him in both of the first 2 rounds of the FGWC, so I definitely think that he's a decent play, although it's not typically his type of course. Max McGreevy at 6,900 would be my top play in this range. Moving on down, I think you can play Chan Kim, Henrik Norlander, and then my second favorite play in this range would be Thomas Rosenmuller at 6,600, and then the cheapest I would go is Snyder's boy, Nate Lashley at 65. And we will get into the best segment of the show now, the Pick 6, presented by DraftKings DKNG.co/RPS. I will pull it up right now with a fucked up screen.
Oh, let me see if I can fix that.
Oh, Snyder might know what to do.
Snyder's gotten good at fixing this.
Snyder might be the
hold on, let me
StreamYard GOAT.
Bang.
Hey, bang. All right. Here we go. I will start with Snyder. You go first.
I'm going to go Theo Bornson better than 31.5.
Okay. Bryce?
Ricky Fowler worse than 32.5.
Fishing position. Wait, where is he?
Sort by finishing position. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I got it. It just wasn't top to bottom.
Yeah.
All right, I will go with Sam Burns better than 21.5. Snyder.
I'm going to go Jake Knapp better than 34.5.
Okay.
Mateo loves Jake Knapp.
Mateo.
He's a Jake Knapp guy in there right too.
What you got, Bryce?
Sorry, I was talking to Mateo there. He's such a Jake Knapp guy. Should we do an ad? I don't really see anything I love here. Should we do like a holes completed type of deal? I'll take Kitayama to make the cut.
Kitayama to make the cut. Let me find it. Where the hell is he?
Might be
Further up, I think.
0.7 or 0.8.
He's a 0.7
He's
to make the cut. Yeah, right there, middle of the screen. You missed him.
Down.
Hey, there we go.
There it is.
And I'll just throw in Siwoo for that. There we go. Thor Bjarnson, better than 31.5. Fowler, worse than 32.5. Burns, better than 21.5. Knapp, better than 34.5. And Kitayama and Siwoo Kim to both make the cut. 1,000 to win 98. Oh, they'll only give me 400. All right.
It's not bad for the 3M.
There we go. And I will post this on Twitter. What are you guys' favorite futures?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Oh. I knew you were going to ask this.
I'm going to go right back to Thor. I'm going to go back to Thor at 35 to 1. I like him to be right there. I'll be putting some stuff in the Discord. I like some top 40s this week as well. There's some pretty good odds on those.
Yep.
Putnam and Bizadenhout, both 70 to 1.
I am firmly with Snyder here. Thor Bjarnson at 35 to 1 and Akshay Bhatia at 40 to 1.
Fun fact, Thor Bjornson's half African.
Yep. He is.
I found that out today. His mom's from
dad's
Zimbabwe.
name is Thor Bjarnson.
Which is the goat name.
For Bryce and Mitch, I am fuck you. Goodbye.